Hey, I wanted to show the animated Groundbreaker skeleton that I built, and I don't have the building process shown on the video, but I'll take you through it if you're interested in trying it yourself. And for those of you that don't care, you might want to just skip ahead and see the end product. This is the doing it all in one take, so I'll probably lose my place and correct myself in places, so just bear with me. Alright, so first I just want to show you the end product before we get him moving. Alright, and I also want to say that none of this is my original idea. I looked at many videos like many people do and tried to do it on my own, and this is actually my first time ever doing one. So I have to give credit to Wicked Makers. They really helped me learn how to color it, make it look old. They also gave me some tips on how to add the little tendons in there as well. And then there's also a YouTube channel called Halloween DIY and How to Props and Special Effects. And those helped me with some of the functional mechanisms and design that you see here. So yeah, I'll just take you through it. So obviously the first thing, you don't need the hips and legs; those just screw off. You can take those and remove, and you're just left with the upper torso and the head. Obviously, the head's going to have to hinge if you want it to move. So you actually cut off at the base of the neck here, and there will actually be a hole at the top of the spine here, and you'll separate the skull out. And from there, you go ahead and what I decided to do is go ahead and add the teeth. So you can get teeth from anywhere on Amazon, and basically take them and super glue. You'll have to cut the original teeth out. I used my Dremel tool just to kind of saw it off. It was kind of trial and error, how far up and how deep to cut this. Just the top seemed to have little pockets for me to easily super glue the teeth into. The bottom was kind of like a solid ridge, and I did not actually know how to at first attach the teeth. So what I did was just got my Dremel here with a sandpaper attachment, and I just kind of from the front going towards the back kind of sanded off to where I had a kind of a resting place for the base of the teeth to lay on, and then a back wall to super glue it. So that ended up working out well. And then I attached the hinge with the skull. This is the hinge right here. You can get it from any hardware store. Obviously you're gonna have to modify it a little bit, and that one end, actually, if I could show you, you'll want the hinge mechanism on the inside going into the base of the spine. You don't want it out. So you want it will go into this spine here, and you'll actually, from the front, you'll put a screw in there. I don't know if you can, to lock it in place. If you can see, the top end of the hinge is curved to match the shape of the skull, and obviously you just use a heat gun. And then what I did, I took it over to my clamp here. I just clamped it in with a heat gun and bent it till it fit the head. So from there, I just screwed it into the head, so the skull now is attached to the spine. It's still brand new looking. It was straight from the store, pretty light color, white bone. So then I had to go dirty it up. So I took it to just a table out in the yard, and the method I used was to use a spray paint, and I did not have the materials here, but I have it over here, I believe. I think I used the, I don't know if you can read that, it's the matte coffee bean. I believe I got this from Lowe's, and basically the method is spray it and quickly wipe off, and it leaves the stain. So that was the first pass, and it got it nice and kind of older looking and just brown in general. And then the method taught from Wicked Makers too. You can't really see it here, and I didn't. This is kind of where I did not do a great job, and I'll give advice in the future is to. You can add little tendons between the ribs, and how you do that is contact cement. This is the contact cement that I used. Now, I would suggest this is a very small and a very small applicator inside, so I did not get a lot of volume. And I could have used more volume to get more coverage. So there is a larger size. I would definitely suggest a larger size than this. Obviously, you need room and 2 hands because you're going to use a heat gun while applying the contact cement. Again, if you go look at Wicked Maker's video, and they'll show the method here. How I propped mine up is I actually am lucky to have this overhead storage up here. I use these bungee cords to attach to his shoulders, and then I had another one attached to his bottom of his spine and attached to a storage container down here, and it just kept them pretty upright, and that's where I continued to all my next methods steps coming up here. So I added the contact cement with a heat gun. That was probably my hardest step here. It didn't turn out too well. I had very thin pieces that would go between the ribs. So next time I'll use the larger size and see if I can get more coverage. But there is some in here that you can see. And so it did a good enough job to at least pass the sniff test, right? So after the contact cement is you start kind of adding some more texture to the skeleton. So for that, I used this Gorilla spray adhesive. I would go around everywhere on his body, spray and dab cotton balls, and the cotton balls would stick to add some texture to him. I even tried, since I didn't really do very well with a contact cement, I think like there, I try to get a strand of a cotton ball and spray it to look like another type of tendon going between the ribs. Worked out okay. So after you get him pretty much all covered with cotton, he just looks like a little bunny with cotton all over, just white cotton sprayed. You got to kind of dab it down, and you got to cover it with latex. So the latex I used, on the videos, it suggested a clear finish. However, I just bought this off Amazon, and it actually finished yellow, and that actually ended up being okay. So after I went over his full body of latex and got all the cotton balls down, and actually I believe like that tendon there, I would use latex and add the cotton there to add some more tendons and flesh. It actually let it dry, and it finished yellow, and at first I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? But after that, I added brown paint. And you can see here it actually kind of turned out well, because the yellows were going to be added anyways, so already having that base yellow and just covering with the brown kind of really gives it a nice decrepit look. And so that actually turned out pretty well for me. All right, so now he's painted. He's got the texture and the latex and the tendons. So now it was time for me to mount him on the fixture here. So obviously I just had some scrap wood going around. Just try to show the bases here. I think the dimensions here were, I don't have it memorized, but it's about 26 inches long. I believe this back piece here that I screwed in was 14 inches, and I believe the front, I kind of estimated around 20 inches, I believe. So here in his front, I just used a normal screw to keep him down. I will say I might add a washer or something, because currently he can shift a little bit. He won't come up, but his arms do shift. So some of it's cool, but I do kind of like the movement, but am considering about stabilizing those. In the back here, first I did not have these side panels at all. So here you get a wiper motor and your pulse width modulator that comes with it to slow down the speed even more, and a power supply. I got all this from Monster Guts, and I secured it with this kind of flexible sheet metal that worked pretty well at stabilizing it. I will say, why do I have these side panels? Well, that was because I still don't know the reason, this is somewhere where I screwed up, is I don't think he was perfectly aligned. The mounting and the arm was perfectly centered for the skeleton, so when I tested him out, he was actually moving, his back end was moving to the right. And this was kind of the motion here. And so he was just twisting instead of going front and back. So I just engineered it and just said, well, I'm just going to create these little side panels here, and that kind of forces the movement front and back. So how do I get his head up? When it's all the way in the forward position, what I did was attach this fishing line. I believe I just ended up using a 50-pound fishing line you can get from anywhere. I believe I got it from Academy. And let's see here. Just put a eye hook here. And I forgot, when I secured that hinge, there's an eye hook there. And so since I attached it when it was already fully up, it was at its tightest. And then as it comes back, it will release the tension and his head will go down. I believe that's everything pretty much with the mounting. So then I decided I want to add some hair instead of just having him bald. This was pretty easy. I just got any wig from Amazon, some silver, and instead of hot gluing it, I just used the same spray adhesive as before and just sprayed it, and it seemed to work. Hopefully it will last through the heat here in Texas. And this was before the soil was on, by the way, so there was a clean surface, but it worked pretty well. And then, as you see, there's soil on here. He is a Groundbreaker. I'm gonna coming out of my yard, so I decided to add some dirt to him everywhere that you can see here, and that was more just spray adhesive, and just we had some garden soil laying around, so seems to stick, kind of dirty him up even more. And then the last thing before I show you how he works here and how well he moves, I did add eyes, although I don't know if I'm absolutely thrilled with them. I've added eyes before, but they were obviously too white, and now they're really bloodshot. We'll see how it looks in the dark. I'll learn from this and try to figure out how to do better in the future. I did have these eyeballs that were pretty nice, that looked some that I was gonna add. However, when I've used them before, and when you try to get them in here, you know, they ended up looking like they have lazy eyes. They're all looking in each direction, so I didn't want that. So I just used these eyeballs here. They're actually only they're not like a full sphere. They're just half. So they just kind of hot glued on, and then I painted them. Yeah, so that was it, and that's how it turned out. And so now I'll turn them on. And I'll show you how he hits the side panel here. So it hits the side panel here, and that's what keeps them from going to the right. And I did want to add one thing. Obviously, these are just held together with bolts here. Under here, I don't know if you can see, I actually have a spacer there. I didn't want to use, that spacer is not, you know, it's very loose. And it's just given adding height for clearance to the spine. So just wanted to show that really quick. So yeah, this is him. And hopefully from a distance he'll look pretty creepy. Alright, thank you for watching, guys.